Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching me right now. It's a wonderful day and a wonderful time to be alive, and also a wonderful time, to gain a new skill, to get more information and knowledge, and in this case, the basics of event management. So if you've signed up for this, you're definitely looking forward to an insightful time learning and relearning all that you know, or if you even don't know anything at all about event management, that's fine, or all that you've known about event management. And by way of introduction, my name is Moni and I'm your favorite event planner. I am the creative director of Mo Eventsville, an event management company based in southwest Nigeria. So wherever you're watching this video from, please let me know in the comment section or whenever we get to chat. I would love to meet you as well and know you, right? So this class is our introductory class, and we're going to go through what our expectations are for this particular training. And so we have 8 modules in all, and at the end of the day, you're going to write an exam. Don't worry, it's not going to be a big deal, right? I look forward to an interesting time teaching you and getting feedback from you, responding to your questions, and hopefully you also turning in your assignments as at when due, so that we can all have a wonderful time learning. So, like I said, this course is on the basics of event management. That means the simple things that you should know on becoming an event professional, right? That's what we're going to be teaching in this course. And we have 8 modules or 9 modules, as I've said. We have where we're going to be talking about the overview of the event industry in Nigeria. So currently, I'm recording this video from Ibadan, Nigeria. So if you're watching me outside Nigeria, that's all well and good. But we're using Nigeria, my home country, as a case study, right? So we're going to be talking about the event management proper, difference between an event planner and event coordinator, the different roles, right? What is expected. So people don't know that there's a difference between a planner and a coordinator. We're going to teach that in this training, in this particular module. We talk about consultation. Should people pick your brain for free? Do you think they should pick your brain for free? I mean, we will discuss that. Then we'll talk about the different types of events that we have. The social event, corporate event, special events, and then you can decide on whichever type of events you want to do, right? And I'm going to share my event story, of course, on how I became an event planner and what the journey has been so far, so good. Then there's another module that we're going to be talking about the roles of an event manager, what is expected of you as an event manager, right? Building your packages, like the services you're rendering. So you know this is a service, right? It's sometimes difficult placing prices on things that has to do with services. I mean, if it's a product, it's easy to give it a price. So I have a bottle of water here. It's easy for me to put a price tag on it, and people are they readily accept it because they can see it. I'm giving you money, and you're giving me a bottle of water in return. Unlike a service, and in this case, a service that you won't even see the results immediately. You have to wait for a period of time, maybe 2 weeks, 1 month, 8 months, depending on what you're planning and the planning phase. So you need to be able to make your clients see the end from the beginning. So how do you charge for that? We're going to talk about that. Building your packages, studying your clients. What kind of clients do you want to attract? What kind of clients do we have out there? We're going to talk about that. Then we're also going to talk about the event experience, creating an experience, right? So at Mo Eventsville, we are very big on creating experiences, like unforgettable experiences. We want you to think about your event weeks later, months later, and even years later if possible. And then you say a word of prayer for us, like, or you blow us a kiss, or even send us some US dollars, So yes, we're going to talk about the event experience. We're going to take wedding planning as a case study. So here in Nigeria, if you can successfully plan a Nigerian wedding, my dear, you are doing exceptionally well. So we're going to talk about the wedding planning in Nigeria, and we're going to deal with that extensively. I also plan a Nigerian wedding from scratch, what to do, what is expected of you, right? There's another module where we'll be talking about vendors, the people that form a a bulk of the work you're going to be doing as an event professional, whether you'll be sourcing for them, whether you'll be researching about them, managing your vendors, types of vendors that we have for different types of events, vendors meeting. We're going to talk about guest management as well. So we talked about us giving our guests and everybody like an experience. So having that home away from home experience is very important. So we're going to talk about that in details. Then venue statistics. Looking for the right venue suitable for your event. What you should look out for. We're going to talk about that in that module. Then another module we're going to deal extensively on is resource management, like putting different things together to make it beautiful, to make your event beautiful. So as an event professional, you should be resourceful. It is expected of you to be resourceful, and most likely maybe you're a resourceful person and people always gravitate towards you for solutions. That is why you consider that, okay, maybe you should just turn this passion to profits. That could be your case, right? So we'll talk about resource management, we'll talk about preparing budgets. Very serious something. Don't mind my goofy self, right? It's part of me, it's part of me. And as an event professional, you have to be energetic, because the energy you bring into the room is what your clients are going to catch as they work. So we'll talk about time management, making the best of your time. And we'll talk about different tools that we use to stay organized throughout the planning process. Then we'll talk about crisis management. What happens when things don't go as planned? What do you do? Do you cry like me sometimes, like I used to, like when things don't go as planned? Or do you run away? Or do you just flare up? And is that what you should do? What should you do when things don't go as planned? And we'll use different case studies from our events so far, events that we planned at Mo Eventsville. We'll share such experiences with you, and you can put that into practice. I mean, life happens every now and then. So yes, you do plan A, plan B, plan C, up to plan Z. But if things don't go as expected, what do you do? So we're going to deal about that extensively in that particular module. Then we move on to the event business. So you might have had passion for this before. You might like what you see on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat. You see events and you're like, oh, so sweet, God, when am I going to be doing this? And you really don't know how that's going to translate to some dollars and naira and pounds and euros for you, right? So it's very important that we understand the event business, how to do events professionally and legally. It's very important that you are good with the government. Very, very important. I mean, you don't want tax officers coming for you, right? Okay, so we'll talk about you being legal, branding. We'll talk about personal branding. It's a big deal. And interestingly, your business will most likely take the shape of your personality. Yeah. For example, I love purple. As a color. So it reflects in our brand, right? It's our brand color, and that's just me, my personality, right? But that reflects, because it stands for strength, dignity, royalty. So yeah, we build our core values around that. So we're talking about contracts and agreements. Very, very important. If nobody has told you, my dear students watching, it is very important for you to have your contracts and agreements in place. Everything that you say, let it be written in black and white and blue, because what we say can be forgotten. People might not be there to bear you witness, but anything that is written in black and white, nobody can fault it, right? I mean, yeah. So contract and agreement, we'll talk about what should be there, what you should write, how you should go about it. So contract between you and your client, between the vendor and you, or the vendor and the client. We'll talk about that extensively. And we'll also talk about building your team. So we understand that you're starting off, so you might not have that luxury of maybe putting people on salary or having people to even work with you yet. So we'll talk about you building your team. Then we're also going to discuss extensively in module 6, having your niche, having a niche. You can't be jack of all trades and master of nothing in event management. And the event body is so wide that there's so many things for you to do apart from planning events. So we'll talk about that extensively as well. We'll explore other options of what you can do, right? Apart from fully planning events, which is what you've signed up to do. Then we'll talk about event coordination. We'll talk about the roles of event hostesses. You won't believe it. In this year 2021, which is when this video is being recorded, 2022 rather, which is when this video is being recorded, some people don't believe that it's important for you to have event hostesses. I mean ushers. They don't see the need because they just feel like, oh, they just stand pretty, just smile and wear fine clothes and that's all. That's not true. Event hostesses are very, very important. So we have to educate you as a planner so that you see the need to, and when you're selling to your clients, they also see the need to, and make sure that your hostesses do what is expected of them. Then we're going to be talking about complementary services that you can marry your event services, as I mentioned earlier. Moving on, we talk about customer relations, how you relate with your clients. It is very important. It is very important. How your clients perceive you before, during, and after the event process, during the planning is very important. Customer profiling. We talk about customer care, taking good care of your customers, taking good care of your clients. Now we know that they say that customer is king. Customer is king when you also treat them as king and they treat themselves as kings, right? So we're also talking about emotional intelligence. We'll talk about you being aware of yourself before you can even interact with like other people, your clients and other vendors and family members or organizations they are going to be working with. Then we'll also talk about dealing with difficult clients, people that are hard to please. Have you met such people before? Well, if you've not, me, I have. And so what do? Knowing fully well that you cannot tell your clients, you know, their customer is king and they are difficult to deal with. Now, you can't tell them, excuse me, sir, with all due respect, what you did is wrong. You cannot say that. Or you can't say it that way. So how do you cope? How do you deal with difficult clients? So we're going to talk extensively about that and prefer solutions as well, because as an event professional, you are a solution provider, or you should be a solution provider. Even aside doing event, like that should be your lifestyle, right? Then we'll talk about personal development. We'll talk about networking. I mean, you can't do life alone. Let's be truthful. You know, sometimes you just want to tell everybody, leave me alone. Everybody, just leave me as I am. Nah, you can't do life alone. It's important. You need people, and especially as an event planner, you need people. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You need people, so you need to learn how to network with these people, how to be in their space for good, and how you can also manage emotions with them, like making sure that they do what they're meant to do. Under vendor management, we talk about collaboration. You know, there's something I always say that it's a Yoruba proverb, right? I'm Yoruba, that the sky is wide enough for birds to fly without colliding with each other. Have you ever seen that in the sky two birds fell on the floor, and the reason they fell on the floor is because, you know, there was no space for them to navigate in the skies? I've not seen it before. I've not heard of it before, and I don't think it will ever happen. So the truth is that your market is out there. You don't need to fight. There's no need for strife or bad blood or bad belay, as we say in this part of the world, before you excellently do your own job. Everybody can. Together we can achieve more. So collaboration, if well harnessed, is a good thing. Then mentorship. We'll talk about the mentor-mentee relationship and how to manage that. Then we're also going to come to talk about the power of social media. So of course, in this digital age, you really can't do without social media. And most likely the reason you're seeing this video is because of social media. You most likely heard about this maybe from somebody, or you saw the adverts for this particular course on social media, most likely, right? So it's a very powerful tool. We know that it has its disadvantages though, but we'll leverage on the advantages for us and for the success of our business as event professionals. Then we'll have, of course, like, you write your exams like I said, and yeah, we're good. Okay, so starting off for today's module, we're starting off with introduction, and I'm going to be starting by sharing my event story, right? How did I become an event planner? Did I just wake up one day and then I became an event planner? Please, I need to drink water. Okay, and the reason I'm even being this free in this class is because, you know, if you're sitting right in front of me, this is probably the way I'll be reacting or interacting with you. So I really want to connect with you, not just like you're just watching one of those many videos. Nah, this is different. the things you're going to learn in this session are not things that you just find on Google or YouTube, because they are real life experiences, right? And we've been professionally doing events since 2018. So to my event story, as I said, my name is Moni. My full name is Monini Nolua. But so that it's not a tongue twister for you, just say Moni or Mo. So that's how the name was coined, right? So yes, I studied economics in school, my first degree, and after school, you know all these things of after school, what next? So while in school, I'll just be wondering, hey, how are we going? What's going to happen after? And you know, all these aspire to perspire, they'll come, they'll talk, and whatnot. And everybody be saying their passion, and then they tell them how to convert that passion to profit. Some people say, oh, I like styling, I like fashion, I like jewelry, I like makeup, you know, and it was easy to identify what those people could do. Now we came to my turn, what do you like? What I liked, I felt it could not be monetized. And I remember that I was in a particular session, one of such sessions, you know, while wrapping up school, and a known motivational speaker was there, which was one of the reasons why I went there. And then I wrote my question because I was too shy. I was too shy to, you know, come out. And then I said things that I liked doing. So I noticed that I paid detailed attention to seemingly funny things. Like right now, I can remember birthdays of some of my primary school mates or secondary school mates, so that when such dates come, I just remember. So I remember that, oh, this date, oh, this is the person's birthday. I might not be in contact with the person anymore. I might not even know the person's social media handle or whatever, but I always remember such details. So I was wondering, how do you monetize that? Like, who cares whether you remember my birthday or not? Like, then I also observed that people always gravitated towards me, right? While in school. So you see things like, we come back from class and everybody's coming to my room, and I'm like, Ellie, why? Why are you following me? You know, or people will be onboarding things, like giving me things, and I'm like, why are you telling me? But of course, I will tell them, okay, you know what, do this, do that, and do this. And then they will come again. And I'm like, warn yourself. Don't come onto me and tell me about one boy that broke your heart. I don't want to hear. But I mean, it is what it is. And you know, I just observed that people used to gravitate towards me. Then I write, like, I create content. Well, that's what we call it now in this time and age. Well, we didn't know that that's what it was called then. So I write, I'm quite expressive, and I talk. So I observed that as well. And I know that while growing up, I played some roles in some organizations where I was secretary, welfare leader, and all of that. You know, welfare, you remember people's birthday, you send them messages, and that was it, right? That was like it. So when I wrote this to our dear motivational speaker, and I'm asking, sir, how can this be monetized? And then he said, you can run an NGO. And I said, NGO? No, I'm not saying that NGOs are bad though, but like at that point, I was expecting him to tell me, I'll make money. And you're telling me NGO. I said, no, sir, okay, no problem. So yeah, that passed, and then I went to serve because of where I am, right? And after service here, there's something that we call passing out parade. Like, I got a job almost immediately. Like, and in fact, where I applied for the job was just out of play. Like, okay, let's just do it, you know. So I got to work in a telecommunication company as a customer service rep. So such people that you call, you know, when you call the communication company to complain about something, and the people that respond at the other end of the call. So it was online. I wasn't seeing them, but we could interact. I felt it was no big deal. I was joking. It is a big deal. Communication is a big deal. So we're trained for it. I learned a lot about managing people's emotions, providing listening ears to people, dealing with difficult clients. I have to understand that when people are upset with an organization, it's not me, it's not money. So such people will call, how dare you? How do you know who I am? I'm going to sue you. I'll come to your office and burn it down. And the initial reaction is like, hello sir, I don't even know what happened to your phone. I don't know what happened to your line. I don't know why your airtime was deducted. I don't know why you're not able to browse. I don't know why all these things are happening to you, sir. Sorry, sir. You know, but I had to learn that they were not talking to me. I was representing the brand, right? So they were referring to that particular company, and it was in my place to being a mouthpiece of the company and pacify them. Oh, I apologize that you feel that way. Empathize. I understand how you must be. I understand how important it is for you to make that call right now. I understand why you need data. I understand why you need to connect to the world. I am not able to. So I had to learn that. And because of that, so because whenever I'm intentional about something, I choose to be excellent at it, except I want to be unserious. And even in my unserious state, I still know what I want to do. Like, I'm a go-getter, right? And that's part of self-awareness, which we'll talk about later. So, because of my good girl, the girl is good, I got promoted, right? And I started speaking with premium clients. So this type of clients, they are category people that used to recharge in that line. You cannot just discard them as you have done with people that recharge maybe like in lower denominations like every day. These people recharge in hundreds of thousands of naira, right? So you can't just say, oh, okay sir, I will do it sir. No, they are educated. Not to say that those other people are not educated, but they are very assertive, they are detailed, they have time, and most times they will call it the night, maybe when they are just back from Dubai or something. They are seated and they are comfortable and they are speaking with you and trying to understand why what happened. So you can't just gloss over it for them. So that was a learning curve for me as well, right? I had to learn how to handle that. Anyway, why am I saying all these stories? At that time, I didn't know that it was important for anything. I'm like, why was all this? So I discovered that there was no career path in that for me, and then I resigned. Okay, so I resigned, and when I resigned, I didn't know what next to do per se. But anyway, be that as it may. So while waiting for service year, I went to learn how to sew. Now, don't ask me. I don't know how to sew nothing no more. Except maybe I watch a YouTube video to refresh my memory. And I have sewing machine. Can you imagine? Anyway, so I learned how to sew. Now you're wondering, don't worry, just stay with me. You'll see how the stories connect. So I learned how to sew during services. So when the opportunity came to go to a business school, I went to the business school, and then the business school says that we should choose any company where we want to intern, and we should choose any company where we want to intern, right? And they will write letters to them for us so that we can intern with them. And my family members felt, you know how to sew. So my dear, go to a fashion institute or something. And I said, no. Now, meanwhile, all the while, I grew up in Ibadan, Nigeria, where I am right now. I had all my education here in Ibadan. Primary school, secondary school, international school, Ibadan. Hey. And then I'm a graduate of the University of Ibadan, where I studied economics, right? So I've been in Ibadan all my life. So at that time, I was tired. When I went to serve, I served in Osun State, which is not too far from Ibadan. So I was tired of being in this place. I wanted to leave. I wanted a new environment. I wanted to just explore and see things out there. And now let's rewind. So in 2016, one of my friends was getting married, and then she tagged me an event planner or a wedding planner. Why? Because I was helping her with the wedding runs. So she said we should be on the bridal. I should be on the bridal. I said no, not me. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna help you with something else. I'm going to wear ashwebi. That's like the traditional attire for weddings over here, right? Like everybody wears the same, like a uniform, right? To look pink together. I don't know what that word is for pink. So a traditional attire, right? So I was helping her with that. So I didn't even know that there was anything called event planning. Like there was a career path to it, or you can make money from it. I didn't think that people had been doing this for a while and they had making money for it. I was just there on my own. So I'll follow up with her, send her messages. Have you done this? Have you done that? Make sure you do this week. Make sure you check out this place. Just checking up really. And then they started calling me wedding planner. Now all these programs that they usually do for weddings, like church weddings, where they write at the back, they write the different vendors, right? And then I saw event planner. I'm sorry, wedding planner, Monia Jani. I'm like, really? How? Hey, you know, put some respect on the name. And so after that, I became curious because everybody kept saying wedding planner, wedding planner, wedding planner. So of course I googled it. I'm like, oh, people have been doing this, but it seems to look like an abroad thing more than a Nigerian thing. So I checked Nigerian wedding planner and I saw, oh, so a lot of people doing this thing. Oh, it's not only me. Hey, so it's not everybody. It's not only me that has this because I felt I was weird to have such weird gifts and things that I mean it was just funny, you know, not knowing that God was turning and overturning and reorchestrating things, right? So yeah, um, I said that they called me wedding planner. That's it. That was 2016. So that same year, that was 2016 August. Shout out to my friend Toby, our very first bride at Mo Eventsville. At the time, we did not have any name. We did not have any money plan the wedding. That is it. And yeah, shout out to my friend every single time. Thank you for the opportunity, and we are grateful to God for everything. So we after that, that was 2016 October. I'm sorry, September. By November, okay, I was still working at the time anyway, so it wasn't even a big deal. Of which the money I was earning, I was still my baby girl life. I didn't want any problems. So I hope you're enjoying this my TED talk. Oh, please grab some popcorn. Okay, so the what's it called? Excuse me. In November, I had to. Since information about it was already coming to me, I started researching, and I found out there were some schools that used to run trainings, but there were not a lot in Ibadan, which is one of the reasons we had we had the vision to have like an academy, the Mo Eventsville Academy, right? Because not many people at the time were willing to train or share their knowledge without any wahala, or maybe I didn't find them, shall, but there were very few. So a colleague of mine, she's the Gentile signature right now. She told me about Diamond Page Academy, and I reached out, and at the time I paid for the class, and it was for a period of 2 weeks. I said, hey, that is it. But I mean, it was wonderful because it gave me like great basis, like great knowledge, like of the basics. Like it opened my eyes to so many things that I wasn't even aware of. You know, so we had the sessions, and that was it. That was it. I wasn't privileged to go to events with her at the time. I was paying, but I just took it off my mind. Excuse me, please. I just took it off my mind, like, okay, you know. And now, in retrospect, I understand better. So I trained at Diamond Page Academy, and so by the time now, fast forward to this our training, this our business school. When my family members are saying, "My dear, you're gonna go to Fashion Institute," I said, "No, no, 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 no. It's event planning I wanna do, and not only do I wanna do event planning, I want to do it outside the Ibadan." And some of them do it in Lagos, and they're like, "Lagos, who do you know in Lagos? Oh, who knows you in Lagos?" I mean, and I wanted Lagos because I felt Lagos had like a bigger market. I would be able to see more things there, like get more events, get more exposure there. That's what I felt. So I reached out to a number of event planners, and some didn't respond, some responded, which is fine. And the lesson from this, and I hope you are taking notes from this my story, because most of this will be storytelling, like our classes. So you just have to pick out the lessons. And my lesson from this is that just be persistent. Like I sent mails, and I was professional about sending it. I didn't just send DM and say, "Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. My name is Moni. I'm dark skinned. Come on, I am it." No, I didn't do that. I was very professional about it. You know, sent my CV. You know that I already had like a background anyway in a workspace, so I knew it was obtainable. And then I sent to a number of people. Some people responded, some people didn't respond. You know, so two people that I know that provided feedback at the time were Busy Bee Events. Now, at the moment, Busy Bee Events is my mentor and coach. Okay, so follow the story through. So Busy Bee Events, and they're in Lagos, Yaba, Lagos, and then Babylayo Exquisite Touch in Ibadan. I was happy that Biblaya responded to me, but I didn't want to stay in Ibadan. You understand? As Pape, I wanted to change my environment. That means I wanted to change my location, so I didn't want anything in Ibadan. So yeah, Busy Bee. The reason she said she was interested was because she saw my resume that I was based in Ibadan, like my address is Ibadan, and then she called. I think we scheduled a call. We had an interview, and then she asked if I could come to Lagos. I went to Lagos, and well, we had like a conversation. Okay, why do you want to intern? What do you know? So having background knowledge is very, very important, and training, educating yourself is a continuum. It's not a one-off thing. You continue. You don't stop. Learning is a lifelong process. So I get inquiries like, okay, hope in this period of training, I'm going to be able to learn every single thing about event planning. I'm going to be perfect. No, my dear, because I am not perfect, and even people that I look up into in the industry are not perfect. Events involve so many moving parts, which includes human beings. So you learn every day. You get better by each event that you handle, but there's nothing like perfect. You get what I mean? So I interned with BCB events that particular year, 2017, and that relationship opened doors for me, quote and unquote. Like people started knowing me with a brand, and I also gained from her how they used to do things, how you respond, why vendors meeting is important, all these details. And she used to run an academy. She still runs an academy, but at the time, so I was, excuse me, please. I was really interested. Like, how are you happy to share your knowledge with people? Yes, people were paying for it, but and they were doing it so well. They were doing. It was excellent. And I was wondering, hey, on top training, we will print this, we will type that, we will write letter, we will send message. All those things were for my good, And sometimes I would just grumble and complain. What was all this? What is this? Why shall I be stressing myself because of training? Is it training I came here to do? Now, one lesson from that is that relationships are a currency. You don't have to always buy everything that you need. Some relationships should be able to buy things for you. Relationships are currencies, and you should make the best of it. Like, don't burn bridges, and when you do, burn it well. Burn the bridge very well, like in a very beautiful manner, in a cute manner. That's how you should burn the bridge, right? But not always strive for any problems, And then the internship period lapsed, and I was going to have like some issues because I was a child, literally, like I didn't know anything, and I misbehaved. But thankfully, I behaved myself, and that particular bridge is not born. Now, I said I applied to a number of places. So one of such places I applied to again was IPC events, right? And in the course of my internship with Busy Bee, they reached out to me, but it was kind of too late. So I did like an event with them, and it just opened my eyes to like different experiences, and it was a good one. Then after that, I said I had resigned now, so I came back home. So that particular year, I planned my cousin's wedding. Can you get that much? I don't want to say it. No, now this is national TV. Before my cousin will see this video, I'm just joking. So even if she sees it, I'm sure she's proud of me right now. So I planned my cousin's wedding, and because it was family, of course, there was no payment, as it were. I think I was giving money for like recharge cards, kind of thing. I don't want to mention the figure, I beg, but you can guess. I leave it to your imagination. So I planned my cousin's wedding, and that was like the first hands-on event that we had after that my friend zone that and then after that I was back at home looking, no more job, nothing, and I started applying again to work with event companies. I really, as I desperately needed that experience. Like, I'm gonna get this thing no matter what it costs. So I started writing again, like sending out my CV and my resume, and voila, I got another response to my email. Actually, I got two. One was rejection, one was acceptance. So the rejection mail was from a particular event planning company that I admire so much. Like I love her so much. She was like, "Oh, your resume is great, this and that, but at the moment we're not taking interns." I was sad. Anyway, guess what? Fast forward, I now interact with that particular person like a senior colleague, like my sugar mommy, like I call her, you know. So yeah, the other positive response was from KFA Rentals. So I interned with at KFA Rentals. Now my experience at KFA Rentals was different from expectation. I was thinking that, oh, as I'm going to this rental company, they're going to teach me this, that, and this. But thankfully, I was forced to have an open mind because, as I said, the name is KFA Rentals. It's a rental company. So what they do basically is rentals. But I learned structure from that company. Structure. Structure gives you excellence, like separating this from that, not mudding everything up, doing everything professionally well. And you're wondering, what does that even mean? So they have like different departments. So I was exposed to different departments they had, how they do things. So if you want to write maybe like an invoice, you actually, document it. Like you don't just write black and white paper. You take stock. How many of these things do we have? How many of these products do we have? And that's what I did for that period. I wanted to take offense again, like, hey, God, a OBSC graduate. But no, I didn't take offense, thankfully. I enjoyed that season and it was a training platform. And I didn't burn that bridge as well because fast forward to later in the future, I was privileged to plan and coordinate, like partially plan and coordinate an event for my then boss for KFA Rentals, right? And I was even surprised when she called me for the event. I said, Ma, me? You mean me? Oh, thank you, Ma. But assuming I didn't behave well, I don't think she would have ever reached out to me for that, or if I was not even consistent, right? So yeah, work with KFA Rentals, and then that was 2017, and then after that, started doing events here and there. Of course, started with family and friends. So I started putting out content on social media. Now they call me the queen of consistency. Before I said no, but I wear the crown well. I can be very consistent. I can be consistent in your face. But I mean, you should be consistent in a good way, not in an annoying manner. Be very consistent in a good way. So I would post on my WhatsApp status. I don't even think it was WhatsApp status at that time, but I'll post on Instagram, share it on Facebook. When WhatsApp status came, I'll post it there. And if I have any information, I'll post it out there. Not to chase clouds, not to show off, but just so that you know that this is what I'm doing. Such that when you need it, I'm the first person that comes to mind. Like, if you need an event planner, there's one lady that I always see her status, there's one person I always see her stories, there's one person that did an Instagram live, there's one person that did this thing, and I'm posting that out there, and then I come to mind. Even if you don't need me, maybe somebody close to you needs me, you remember me. You have to remember me. You have to remember me for good. Maybe you say, oh, Mo, or that purple girl, that girl that loves purple, that girl that loves shawarma and ice cream. That's under personal branding anyway. But right, so I'm consistently annoying. No, I'm not consistently annoying. I'm actually consistent. So because of that consistency, I started putting out content out there, and then somebody remembered that, oh, I think you put it out there that you went to one training school. You said you were going to an academy. Then you also said this and that and that. Okay, so the person got proposed to, and I just wrote congratulations on Instagram. Can you plan my wedding? I'm like, of course, by all means. And we set out to plan that. Now I was more mamuku, meaning that I was doing everything because I didn't know the difference, right? Like, or I didn't have the capacity for the difference. But that particular event was a big one for us. And we had permission to post pictures from the event on our social media platform, and boom, people started hearing about the brand. So it was still like family and friends, acquaintances, like old friends, and they started reaching out, can you, and referrals started coming, and it's been one success story or another. Thankfully, we've had a few glitches here and there, which is normal. Life happens every now and then. We've had some extremely customers or clients that your patience will be tried through the fire. Like you're like, what is this? What is going on here? But thankfully, our success stories have far outweighed like the failure stories. And of course, from the failures, we have learning curves. Okay, what didn't we do right? What should we do better? Maybe the way we presented the situation was not good. Maybe there was some sort of sentiment, you know, all of that, all of that, all of that. So yeah, that's what the journey has been so far. And of course, I am a very intentional person, as I already said. So I'm intentional about my personal development and growth. So apart from those trainings I said I had, BCB events, they started a summit, a yearly summit, and I attended like a number of times. I was a part of their community group. Now I am back in the community, the well-watered Garden Tribe Nation, right? I'm back in the community, which is a good one. We're going to talk about that, like networking and being in like association is very important because you really cannot do life alone, as I've said. Okay, so I'm back in that community and went for a number of trainings. Texas Africa, yeah, 2019. It was mind blowing for me because I met people, I listened to speakers that have been doing events outside Nigeria, like people from different parts of the world talking about events. I'm like, oh, this is actually a big deal. And guess what? Events actually forms like a very great part of our GDP in Nigeria. You didn't know? This I didn't know until I researched. Because we love parties a lot. This our culture allows for celebration. We love to celebrate ourselves. Any small thing, we are happy to rejoice. You buy a new car, everybody's like, you go wash hand for me, oh. Well, like we say in my Yoruba land, like you go celebrate that for me, oh, that's pidgin. We say that, and we're very big on celebration. We're very big on partying. It's part of our culture. So planning partying is here to stay. Now, when the pandemic happened, it affected the industry, but we had to think of creative ways to do events because events is part of people's life. Some people are not going to come if they don't go for events, they don't go for outing. It's part of their social life. They've been working all week, Monday to Friday. They're not saying they should not unwind on Saturday and Sunday. It's not possible, So yeah, that was a great one, like an eye opener. Then I try as much as possible to read books. Yeah, I read books. My current read is so I read books from like on business, on relationships, like relating with people, how to relate to people. Because I said that you're going to be interacting with people a whole lot. So my current read right now is Woman to Woman by Joyce Meyer. That's what I'm currently reading. Being self-aware of myself, right? So yeah, by reading books, by watching videos, YouTube, Instagram, following people that I think are relevant to my personal development and growth. I'm very intentional about that. And thankfully, we have two major departments at Mo Eventul Academy. We have the planning and coordination department, and we have the Mo Eventul rather, the planning and coordination and the training department, which is the academy, of which you have been a beneficiary of. So we've planned a lot of, in fact, I've just counted a lot of events between when we officially started business as a brand in 2018. We've planned a number of events from then till now, and we're still planning intimate events of 50 or less than 50 and managing as much as 2,000 people, at events, weddings, birthdays, funerals, bridal shower, baby shower, corporate events, book launch, album launch, you name it. Right, and we are open to planning even more and exploring more. So yeah, that's been my event story so far so good, and I hope you learned two or three from it. One of the things I wanted you to learn though is that relationship is a currency. Do not burn that bridge. If you burn it very well, right? And also be intentional about your personal development and growth. Another thing is that you should also be consistent. Not that you will show up today and will not see you again. No, you can't do like that. Let's know you for something. Or you say, oh, today I'm frying puff, and then tomorrow I think it's fried rice I want to be doing. If you do puff and fried rice, let us know from the beginning. You need to be consistent. So yeah, that's that about my event story. Now we move on to talking about event management proper, like event planning proper. What is event management? So the manual that has been sent to you, maybe you could be reading it alongside as you watch this video, or you read it later on, whichever way works. So I'm using the manual as a guide. I'm just like expounding on what is written there. The truth is that if you read this manual alone, you will still be able to glean a lot of information and knowledge. But of course, there has to be like some sort of explanation for it. So yes, event management. I like to see events as projects, right? Every event I see it as a project because it has a beginning and it definitely has an end. And there's a time frame when you get the job done. So event management is the application of project management in you like creating and developing like large scale events or even small scale events. So we talked about having different types of events like festivals, conferences, different ceremonies, formal parties, concerts, conventions. So it involves you studying the brand and identifying the target audience. Yeah, now you might be wondering weddings. What is the brand? The brand are people that you're doing weddings for or you're doing parties for. People get married for different reasons. People do events for different reasons. Some people do events just to show off because they have the money, which is not a bad thing because it is their money. And some people do events because maybe they've been looking forward to that particular celebration for a very long time. Some people do events to just show that I can, and just because I can, I can decide to throw my 20th birthday in Miami because I can, right? So that type of event, you need to understand the brand, who is doing the event, why, for what. Why are we doing it so that you can know how you can plan accordingly. So if you know why I want to do my 20th birthday ceremony at Miami, then you will be suggesting luxury vendors to me. You will be suggesting themes to me that okay, do this, buy this, do that, you need this, you need that. You need to talk to a travel agency. Maybe you want to go in a group, you want to take pictures before you go, you need a photographer to follow you. You need to understand the target audience, right? Then you begin to devise the concept, which is what I said. Devise the event concept. So you understand the brand, you know the target audience, you know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I want to do it because I want to pepper my friends, or I want to do it because I've been looking forward to being 20, or I want to do it because I'm the first person to be 20 in my family. So therefore, you must know that I am 20 years old. Like that's the purpose. So you as a planner will now devise concept that okay, this is a creative way to get it done, right? Then coordinating the technical aspect. So yes, I desire to do my birthday in Miami, but I don't know how. You as a planner will tell me the things that I need to know, the people I need to speak to, right? Then you prepare a budget for me. Okay, this is what it will cost. You need to pay ahead of time, if you get what I mean, before actually launching the event. So an event manager is the person that plans and executes the event. Like you're answering the question of what, why, when, how. What are we doing? What are we doing? We are doing Mo's 20th birthday. Why are we doing it? We are doing it because she'll be 20 just once in her lifetime. Where are we doing it? We're doing it in Miami. I said who is sponsoring this? Who is going to the party with her? So once you're answering all of these questions as an event, like once you're answering all of these questions, you are the event planner. Now whether you're doing it professionally or not, whether you're my sister that you're helping me, or my cousin, or I'm paying your brand, you're an event planner because you're planning and you're making sure that it's going to be executed. You're following me to Miami to make sure that I have a great time. You're not just leaving me alone by myself, right? So an event manager is the one who plans and executes the event and takes responsibility for creativity, like being creative, the creative part, the technical part. I, as the celebrant, I don't want to be bothered that which airline am I going to fly with. Help me think about that, the planner. That is your job. Tell me what airline you think is suitable. Or if you feel like I should not go to Miami, I should do it in Lagos. I should do it in a beach in Lagos. Give me creative fun ways. Okay, should I go on a boat cruise, or should I go on a boat ride or something? Should I do a photo shoot? Should I go to should I do it for charity? Should I do a walk? Anything. You give me suggestions based on what I've discussed with you. The creative part, the technical part, the logistics. It's the event planner that is responsible for all of this. And of course, the overall event design, the outlook at the end of the day. So as an event planner, you have to have foresight. You know, where is this ending? Where is this going to? So the overall event design, brand building, if it's a corporate event, there's definitely a reason they are doing it. They want to maybe churn out profit for the organization, or they want to they want to like pay back to the society, like corporate social responsibility or marketing, communication, strategic, every part. That's what an event planner is bothered about, right? I wrote here like script writing. Do you know that when people are making movies, they have event planners? Do you know? Because there are people that are answering all these questions of what, why, when, how for them, right? So you watch a movie, you see, oh, logistics by, transport by, makeup by, event, something produced by. There are event planners that come on board for such projects, right? Budgeting, negotiation, client service is the event planner that is bothered about all of these details, right? Now, what differentiates between an event planner and an event coordinator? So generally speaking, like I said, people don't know the difference. But you as an event planner, you have to understand the difference. Excuse me. You have to understand the difference because it's very important, because the roles and responsibilities are different. So an event coordinator, as I said, an event planner is responsible for the critical decision making, right? Such as what, when, who, and how, answering those questions. But an event coordinator is not bothered with all those details. An event coordinator is there to execute all that has been planned by the event planner. Now, the event planner could be a professional like me and you in the making, right? Or somebody that just has a flair for organizing or just doing things. As I always say, every Nigerian, every African woman is an event planner, because while growing up, you might have had visitors in your house. You know, you have to be hospitable to them, you have to be kind to them. Maybe you have to organize small parties at home, like Christmas parties, holiday parties, end of the year party, maybe, you know, and you already know how that goes. And typically, when the success of every event, most events, the way our parents measure success at that event is once people should eat, once food is in excess, once food is in abundance, they are fine. So I always like to say that. So an event coordinator is not bothered about all those details. What he or she is bothered about is making sure that everything that you have planned is properly executed and done excellently well. So ensures that every vendor shows up in time, everybody performs appropriately, everybody does what they are meant to do in time. So an event coordinator is getting acquainted with all the vendors he's spoken with, drafting a floor plan. We'll talk about that. You know, making sure that everything that you have planned comes to pass, literally. Now, an event planner can also act as an event coordinator, of course. Yeah. So you've been planning all along and you can execute. You can execute with the help of other people. Or like me, when I started out, I was both planner and coach. I was one executing my team by myself, all by myself, because I didn't know better, right? So an event planner needs to also work directly. I'm talking about the differences now, and I hope you're enjoying this class. So hey, now an event planner works directly with the client to determine a customer's vision. Like I said, what does this person want? What does this person have in mind? A 20th birthday party in Miami. That's what the person has in mind. Then we now talk about the needs. What is expected for this 20th birthday celebration? Then we now talk about budget. Okay, this celebration will require XYZ amount. My dear client, this is what you require. And the person says, oh, it's absolutely fine, I can pay for it. Or the person says that it's not necessary. This is my budget. What can work with my budget? Or give me something, other options that I can work with. So it's the event planner that does that. But an event coordinator is not involved with all those questions. The event coordinator is asking that, okay, you've decided where you want to do what. So who are the people that you contacted? Who's the food vendor? Who is the drinks vendor? Do we have music? Who is bringing the outfit? Who is doing the makeup? You know, finding out who is doing what and making sure that it is excellently executed. So they are in charge of individual components to ensure that the event goes on smoothly. I hope that this has helped to explain very well the difference between an event planner and an event coordinator. So an event coordinator is usually active towards the event, maybe like 2 weeks or even on the day of the event. You know, they just show up at the venue, make sure that the setup is done in time, everybody gets to the venue in time, everybody does what they are meant to do, follow through the event flow, and just make sure that all that has been planned is excellently executed. It's also very stressful. Yeah, oh, you thought it was a walk in the park. Nah, it's also equally stressful because you have not been communicating with these vendors before. Now you have to interact with them. You have to, if there are any loopholes, you have to point it out to your clients and make sure that they know what needs to be sorted, right? Then we also have, excuse me, event consultation. That's another aspect of event management. I need to drink water. Okay, I said that that's also another aspect of event planning. Now, let's be honest. Do you think it's okay for people to be picking your brain for free? And someone just come, Mo, so I'm doing my birthday next week. What do you think? I cannot think anything. Now, I can give you information that you're going to find on Google. I can give you ideas that you find on Google easily and readily. I'm happy to do that. But that I'll now start spending time with you, my dear. Time is money. Time is life. Whatever you spend your time doing, the bits of what you spend your time doing accumulate into what you're using your life for, right? And that's why I'm a believer. And that's why scripture says that a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of hands, so shall poverty come upon somebody that does that. So you think that, oh, it's just small sleep, it's just small rest, it's just small this. Before you know it, it becomes a habit, it becomes a lifestyle, and you are not productive. Or you say that there's a lion in the street, I cannot go out. You're a joker. Whether there's a lion in the street or not, you have to go out. You will just be very careful, right? And you also pray that the lion doesn't come to you, because you can be inside your house and the lion come and meet you. So why not just go out already and take risk, right? So why did I say that? I said time is money, time is life. So you have to pay for my time, just like you're doing right now, right? Because, and people have to pay for your time as well for consultation. Because guess what? If you were not an event planner, if you were doing something else, you would have been paid for it. So let's even assume that what you will say that what I say I want to be doing now is that I want to be sweeping this office every day. At least I know that I show up here Monday to Friday, I sweep the floor. Madam is going to pay me 2,000 naira at the end of the day or something. At least there's something I'm doing with my time. But instead of doing that, instead of sweeping, I decided to do something else. Instead of working in a bank, instead of doing whatever other job you could have been doing, right? Instead of even sleeping in my house, because if I'm sleeping, maybe I would gain more weight or I'll look fresher or something, you know. At least I could have invested my time in that. But rather, I'm taking time out to listen to you about your event, look for information for your event, and then provide solution. And you're now telling me that you want to pick my brain for free. No. Now, what do I mean by pick your brain? So people asking you questions like asking, like, okay, please, can you give us ideas of can you give us themes for this 20th birthday? And you know you're saying, oh, go to Miami or go to the beach or do this. They will take your ideas and go and give to somebody else to execute, or they will execute it themselves. So for consultation simply means that people are getting ideas from you, getting information from you about their event, seeking your professional advice and expertise, right, based on your exposure. And now you are being intentional about investing in yourself. You're training, you're going to read books, you're going to start watching videos, you're going to start listening to people, you're taking your time, right, to invest in yourself, to get this information. So the information is not for free. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that when someone should call you to ask for something, you should say, give me money, give me money. No. You will give them information such that they want to come back for more. So what do we do? Using Mo Events as the practical example. For consultation, we book time with you, 2 hours, you pay for it, right? And in that period, we are running through your events, what's expected of your event. Now, we come to this when we know that, okay, I'm not just making inquiries, you actually want more. Then, we draw a budget for you, a market budget, which takes time, right? We draw a budget for you, we source for venues for you, give you venue options, and we send to you. So if you're fine with going ahead to that service at the end of the day, so let's say that we agree 500 naira, and then for the consultation we charge 10 naira. So that means you're paying us 490 naira at the end of the day. However, if we do not agree, that 10 naira is gone and gone for good, because we've worked for you, right? So the way it started, and of course I didn't start that way, The way it started was that I know that people will come, ask questions, tell me to do budget for them, I'll do it for them, give them suggestions, and they will just run away. And I started with my friend, one of my friends. I remember that she reached out, she was getting married, and then she reached out that she wanted a budget. And I thought about it because I was going to make a few calls to some vendors. I was going to reach out to people. I was going to sit down on my laptop, type and everything. And I said, my dear sister, you're gonna pay me. You're going to pay me for this thing. I said, I said, just recharge my line. And so at the time she sent me 2,000 naira. So I said, send me airtime, and that's fine. And I was happy that I did that. So I sent this thing to her. Excuse me, please. I think I've cut myself. Okay, I sent this thing to her, and then she says that she will get back to me, and she didn't get back to me. But I was not hurt because I collected my money and I was happy. Now at the time, it seemed like something small, but subsequently after that, when people were reaching out, and I made them pay for it, some of them will come back, some of them will not come back. I wasn't paying them anymore, like because they were paying for it. So when of course, we will have like a consultation session with you so that you understand what we're doing as a brand. But if after that you start picking our brain, oh, so do you think I should use this vendor? Do you think how many caterers should I have? What do you think I should use as my mode of entry? What color should I use? You're already asking me questions based on my judgment. I will tell you that, my dear brother and sister, once we start planning, once we start working with you, you will get these things for free, right? So that's that about consultation. Now, the process of event planning and coordination involves budgeting, as I've said, scheduling meetings, right, with your vendors, with your clients, checking out venues, selecting venues, which venue is suitable for what, acquiring necessary permits if and when necessary. So you want to have an event in an open field, for example. You won't just go there and erect your marquee or your canopy. Some people will just come and send you away. You need to ask, okay, what is required of me to use this space? And in some countries, before you do events on certain spaces, you need to get permission. In some states, you need to get permission to do events, right? Coordinating transport and parking. So you say you're having an event somewhere, where are the cars going to be parked? Is there going to be security for them? You're asking every single detail, every question, very important. You might be thinking, of course, but no, you ask. So you ask and ask questions till you look very silly, right? And you're looking silly because you don't want to be silly on the day of the event. Arranging for speakers and entertainers. So do we need entertainers? If it's a conference, if it's a workshop, what do you want them to speak on? Decor, security, catering, coordinating with third-party vendors, having emergency plans when things don't go as planned. There's the company that I'm aware of on Instagram that like your event emergency when things don't go as planned. So they have like a sewing machine where you can charge your phone, super glue for your shoe. That's a business idea, and that's also very important. So each event is very different. No matter the number of times you handle an event or a type of event, they are very different, and so the nature of their planning and execution is different because you're dealing with different individuals. There's been a situation where we planned weddings for we planned weddings twice for a particular family, like two different daughters, and we repeated some vendors, but the outcome was absolutely different because they are different individuals. They are different in their personalities, their tastes are different, what they want is different, right? So no matter the number of times you plan a wedding, no matter the number of times you plan a birthday, no matter the number of times you plan a conference, there will still be something unique because human beings are different, right? We are different, we are as unique as our fingerprint or our fingerprint. Yeah, so types of events. We have two broad categories of events: corporate events and social events. Now, and we also have special events, which is in between. So for the corporate event, is any form of event or hospitality or any form of activity that is funded by a business entity, that is funded by a business organization, with either the aim of making profit at the end of the day or making people more aware of that particular brand, or maybe celebrating or appreciating the staff, right? But it's usually sponsored by a business entity, and the concept is to create either a new lead, or maybe reward employees, or maybe bring on new business partners, or launch a new product. So examples of corporate events are conferences, seminars, team bondings, boot camp, trainings, business dinner, press conferences, networking events, award ceremonies by like funded by an organization, a business organization. So it's called corporate entertainment. They're usually effective in achieving the desired result of a company, and they're usually very good for a company's PR. So I'll cite some examples. So Access Bank, and I don't know if they still do it, but they do like marathon race. Now, what has banking got to do with running? But you're like, oh, my bank makes me fit. I'm happy. GTB Fashion Weekend. What has banking got to do with fashion and food, or food and something fiesta? But you have it at the back of your mind, because these companies are beginning to understand that events are very important. It's emotions, and the truth is that we are wired by emotions. We rather buy things based on emotion. If somebody wants to force me to buy water, I might not buy. But if I feel like I'm thirsty, or I feel like, oh, this water is cold, it's going to quench my thirst, I'll buy it. But if you're forcing me, take now, please buy. I'm even suspicious. Like, hello, hope all is well. Why are you forcing me to buy your water? So yeah, they're usually effective in achieving the brand's desired results, and they are sponsored by corporate organizations, right? Then we have social events, which involves individuals. They are sponsored by individuals, not business entities. Individuals sponsor it, and they are majorly solely for entertainment, like for relaxation, just for everybody to be happy, not to make profit, or not to make brand awareness, as we have said. So they include occasions such as weddings, birthdays, funerals, retirement parties. They are like life events, like landmark events. So you're doing like 70th birthday ceremony, you're doing a naming ceremony, you're doing child dedication, you're doing a wedding ceremony, you're doing a bridal shower. All of this is because you as an individual, you want to make yourself happy, or you want to celebrate a particular cause, or you want to tick off something in your bucket list, right? And they are basically for entertainment, not to make profits, if you get what I mean. Then we also have, which is not in the manual, we also have special events. Now, special events have the element of both of these things. They have the element of what's it called? What's it called? Social events and corporate events. They have the element of both of them. So you have like your let me think, like your soiree, you have like your awards, like your multi-choice award, AMVCA awards, you have like your concerts, Davido's concerts, Burna Boy's concerts. Now, YBNL is an organization. The people that are, I think it's Olamide, right? Is an individual. But before you go and watch him perform, you will pay, right? But you're going there to be entertained. They are making profit and also like entertaining you in between. So they are called special events. Now, there's a twist to how events are done. There are like three major ways to get events done. So you have like the physical events where everybody is present. We are all present in the room. Like everybody that you want to be present is present. That's like your physical event, which is what was obtainable pre-COVID era. Then we have virtual events, where the events were in our individual spaces, in our different houses, different offices, and we are having our events. Now, before COVID, we didn't think much about that. But guess what? People have Zoom parties. So I was part of one in the year 2020, where we were part of a like everybody, food was delivered to everybody, and the MC, we connected online on Zoom, and we had like a good time. The MC gave us games, like we did scavenger games. In fact, at the time I was wondering what games are we going to play. But if person goes, oh, who's the first to get a DSTV remote? You bring it to your screen. Who's the first to get a blue biro? You bring it to your screen. Who's the first person to get salt? Things that were accessible in the house, and it was fun, right? Then food packs were delivered to different people, and we were told not to eat our food. The truth is that me, I ate someone with my food sharp. So we're told not to like eat our food, and then there was a particular part of the event where they said you open up our food boxes for everybody to you bring out your items. It was complete. I think we got rewarded for it and all of that. So it was fun. So we have virtual events, right? Which is what the pandemic opened our eyes to. And we have hybrid events, which is a combination of both, where some people are physically present somewhere and some people are connected on a platform such as Zoom, such as Google Meet, such as YouTube, which is hybrid events, combination of both. So having said all of this, I hope that it's been an insight. We've come to the end of this particular module. I hope you've been able to gain something, and I would love to hear from you. We're going to have a recap in the next class, but let me just know what you've learned from this, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to respond to it. Now, you have an assignment. Yes, you do. You have an assignment. Okay, so first of all, the first one is that you should name any 5 event planners that you know in Nigeria and their brand names apart from me. So let me give an example. Monia Jani, Mo Eventsville. How long have they been in business for? They've officially been in business in 2018, unofficially 2016. Where are they located? They're currently located in Ibadan, Nigeria. So we want it in that format for 5 different people. Then and the purpose of that assignment is so that you get acquainted with planners, right? Start following them, start knowing what they are doing. If you want to be like something, you should be seeing it, you should put it consistently in your face, right? So that it's easy for you to emulate it well. Now, the second thing is that think about any event you attended recently, either social or corporate, and let me know what you like about it and what you would have done differently if you were hired as an event manager. Then thirdly, while you like to be an event planner, or you like to be an event coordinator, or you're an event manager, as I've said, it's stressful. So why? So I really like to hear from you, and looking forward to seeing you in the next class. Bye.